Doctor Who Series 1/14, although I do prefer to call it Series 14. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it is literally next week.
You mean bread and butterflies?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, so legends, today I'm going to be doing my final predictions for Doctor Who Series 1/14, although I do prefer to call it Series 14. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it is literally next week. It's on the 11th, but apparently it's on the 10th, but it's also on the 11th, so I don't know. It might be the 10th, it might be 11th, I don't know. Also, yeah, I got a brand new 80s looking t-shirt, and yeah, I just decided that I want to have it. So yeah, we're going to be talking about my final predictions for the midnight episodes of Doctor Who, and as they're releasing in midnight, because I don't know, they just care more about American viewers apparently. So yeah, so basically in the first episode, Space Babies, again, a weird title. Also, just so you know, I'm going to try and keep this video relatively short, just because I have a low battery on the device I'm recording it on right now. So Space Babies, we basically, all we know so far, we know that there's going to be a bunch of babies on a spaceship, and that we're probably going to get, well, I mean, we're obviously going to get a talking one, because I do know that, you know, I know that, you know, from the trailers we've seen a talking baby, so we're obviously going to see a talking one, which is going to be a bit weird. And then also we're going to be getting, you know, this character that's going to be on this spaceship, possibly, I don't know, I forgot her name. Here's a picture if I can find one. And yeah, she's basically, I'd assume the captain, I don't know, it might be the baby we saw in the trailer, but I really do not know. And then we've also got Boogeyman, which is like this green, creepy looking creature, which, if you don't know, is kind of part of like folklore, and like it's a mythical creature that we all know about, that, you know, kids tend to know about and scared of. So, but it's really nice how we're getting Boogeyman and like this whole, you know, supernatural type of arc in Series 14. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. We have the babies. Now, I don't actually know why there's space babies in general, because I do know that there's probably going to be some being grown, because we've seen a picture where it looks like them being grown in the background. I don't know if I can show it, but I will if I can right here. And basically they might be grown, I don't know. I don't know if it comes with like certain things that they need or something when they get grown or whatever, like bottles or food, or I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting how we're getting babies that are like captains of the spaceship. That's very Doctor Who, but also not. It's an interesting take, and Russell is obviously going to make sure that this episode is very much, you know, interesting. So I'm very excited to know what Space Babies is about. I'm more excited in seeing the Demogorgon looking Boogeyman type character, because obviously we know Boogeyman is coming back. Not coming back, we know Boogeyman is coming to the show, and I'm really interested to know what it's going to be like, aside from, you know, roaring and so on. So yeah, and then also I realised that the ship that the Boogeyman is on is the same as the baby's ship, which is weird, because at first I never thought that. It just looks like two different ships, but just a second ago I realised, hey, that's obviously gotta be the same the same ship, right? So I don't know, I feel like it might be. And then also we have the next episode, which is the Beatles episode, known as the Devil's Chord. What we know about this episode is we got the Beatles. Now, they're not actually the Beatles, I don't think. They might not. And basically, there's not actually going to be music from the Beatles. I know, it's pretty shocking and weird, but I think it's to do with, from what I know, it's because of the copyright being too expensive, and also, I don't know, maybe they have to get permission and they can't, I don't know. So, unfortunately, there is no Beatles music in the actual episode with the Beatles. But still, Devil's Chord is still going to be a really fun, inducing, packed episode. We have the Doctor and Ruby are pretty much gonna jam out to some vibes, I'm guessing, because we've already seen the studio. We've also seen the Doctor and Ruby just like vibing to just awesome jammy music. And we also seen Abbey Road. We've seen the famous bit where they walk. I don't know if you know what I'm on about. I'll put a picture here if I can of basically the original picture that the Beatles did, and if I can, a picture here of what they've done in the trailer. They've pretty much got the same crossroad type thing that the Beatles go on in their album picture, and it's really nice how we're getting that in the episode. I mean, it was kind of obvious we was gonna get that, but it's nice to know we're getting that, and it's really cool because I like how in the trailer he's like, where should we go? Anywhere or something, I don't know. But yeah, Abbey Road, it just sounds really cool. Also, another thing is that we have Jinx Monsoon. Now, Jinx Monsoon, we now know her character name, which I originally thought was Jinx, but to be fair, I feel like it fits her, but no, apparently it's not. Her name is Maestro. Maestro is this character that we're going to be getting in the second episode of Devil's Chord. She's basically the villain, and she can, I'd assume, like, manipulate she can manipulate music, control music. She can do everything with music, and she can basically trap people with notes, kill people with notes, do whatever with notes. She could probably make a pretty good album, but basically, yeah, we've already seen her trap Ruby. I think there's going to be the Beatles trapped in her instruments, or their instruments from her, and then the Doctor and Ruby have to basically save them. That is probably the plot, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the most weakest plot. It's probably the most weakest plot I've heard, so if that is the case, they've got to throw in some interesting challenges and epic scenes and whatever. We also get the decaying London scene, which is interesting because I'm very interested to know what that's going to be like. I feel like that's Maestro basically being like, hey, I can do that, I will show you. She shows us. I feel like that's going to be her showing us. So yeah, we're going to be able to see what Maestro can do. I'm hoping with the whole Maestro thing that it's not just her being the only god, which we do kind of know that will probably be the case. I wonder if Jonathan Groff's character is going to be, like, I'm curious to know if he's going to be a god too, maybe, because I don't know, I don't buy for a second that he's going to be a new Captain Jack, but I also do, but I do want it. So I mean, I don't know, I do want to see the Trickster. I don't know why I'm even saying this, because it's pretty obvious. A lot of people want the Trickster. Personally, I want the Trickster to come back. If he doesn't, Russell has just wasted it. So, But yeah, so Devil's Chord, well, Space Babies and Devil's Chord, 2 fantastic episodes that we're going to be able to see at midnight, I think, and I'm very, very, very excited for these episodes. These are coming next week, 11th or 10th of May, so I'm really looking forward to it. I definitely might actually do a prediction video on Boom, because personally I feel like that'd be a cool video to do. And yeah, if you did enjoy my Doctor Who final prediction video, then subscribe, do the thing.
Make sure you go to his channel, subscribe, and do that there.
Have a legendary day, and also I will be doing a review when the episodes release. Well, the next day probably, depending on if I can and if I'm tired or not. If I'm able to, but I'm tired, then I won't. But if I'm able to and I'm not tired, then yeah, I'll do it. Anyway, go and have a legendary day. Wonder if you like my t-shirt, because it definitely gives an 80s vibe. And yeah, bye legends.